To many of us, the responsibility of owning a credit card seems daunting. We constantly hear of the horror stories of those suffering from suffocating credit card debt. But the truth is that when used responsibly, credit cards can be useful tools in building credit history for the first time. This is especially true for college students who lack credit history and want to be prepared for adulthood. If you're wondering why you would need a good credit score, the answer is simple. Good credit scores mean that money lenders are more inclined to offer you a loan and with greater benefits, such as lower interest rates. My name is Louis Bisson. I'm a 21-year-old college student, and like many other young adults, I was never taught the basics of credit in high school. I was never told the importance of credit, how to properly use a credit card, or the dangers they pose. Through my own initiative and research, I was able to build my credit within a 6-month period. I went from having no credit history at all to having a FICO credit score, which is the most popular credit scoring service, of 740 out of 850, which is regarded as a good credit score. Today I will be demonstrating how, starting with no credit history, you can build up your credit score. In order to build your credit for the first time, you will need to establish a line of credit, use it responsibly, and monitor your credit for security and fraud. The key idea to remember is that this process's purpose is to build credit, and it is important to have that mindset to minimize the risk of developing financial dependency on a credit card. With that being said, the first step in building credit is to get a credit card. As a college student with limited credit history, the best way to start building credit is with a secured credit card. A secured credit card, as defined by Investopedia, a financial education website, is a type of credit card backed by a cash deposit from a cardholder. Sometimes this is the only option for those who don't have credit history. Secured credit cards work the same as regular credit cards except for the required upfront security deposit. They also typically have lower credit lines and more fees. However, for college students, there are specific college student secured credit cards which offer greater benefits. I personally used one of these college student secured credit cards, and it made my experience easier and less expensive. Once establishing your line of credit, it is important that you use it in a responsible way. FICO credit scores, which are used by more than 90% of top lenders, are composed of 5 factors: payment history, credit usage, age of accounts, credit mix, and new credit inquiries. Since I'm focusing on credit cards, I'm not going to talk about credit mix since that refers to having different types of credit. I'm also not going to focus on age of accounts due to this purpose of this speech, which is for individuals without credit history. Instead, I will be focusing on payment history, credit usage, and new credit inquiries. The factor with the most influence over your credit is payment history. Late payments will negatively affect your credit score more than anything else, so it is always important to remember to pay your bills on time. Thankfully, you can easily do this by setting up pay reminders to notify yourself when your bill is getting close to becoming due. Credit usage is the second highest influence of your credit score. Like I mentioned earlier, it is important to use your credit card to build credit only. Maxing out your credit line will negatively affect your credit score. A good aiming point is at 10 to 30% of utilization on your credit line. With my experience, I found it useful to use my credit card for one expense and one expense only. For me, this was gas. This is helpful because it helps prevent yourself from using it for unnecessary purchases, thus keeping utilization low. The last factor from the FICO credit scoring I will address today is new credit inquiries. It's important to avoid, when possible, what are called hard inquiries, as these negatively affect your score if done excessively. Hard inquiries occur when you apply for new loans or credit lines, so it's best to keep these to a minimum. Once establishing a routine with the last step, the final step is to continue to monitor your card for security and possible fraud. This can easily be done by frequently accessing security reports offered by your credit card company and by checking your account for any unusual activity. Doing this will minimize the chances of fraud negatively impacting your credit score. I hope I have increased your understanding of the process towards beginning to build your credit. Following the major steps of getting a credit line, using it responsibly, and monitoring your account for security will guide you in building your credit score. Thank you.